Hello, I'm Amanda Sleeman, and this is the third segment of how to approach a fashion design project. This is where we've covered so far. We went through the criteria of the project, highlights that you want to focus on. We covered the who in the last segment, but now we're going to talk about what, where, and when, and these kind of coincide. So here you're going to, for the white space and the gap, you're going to be looking for at the retailer space. This also determines too if brick and mortar or e-com comes into play here. So you want to be thinking about if you're going to be in store at brick and mortar doing your analysis or an e-com. And I would approach those two differently. So depending on the retailer, you want to look at their brick and mortar in-store retail space and their e-commerce and see where their white space and gap is. The customer solution, that is going to be that innovative solution. So this is part of the creative, but in order to get there, you really do need to evaluate that white space. You want to look at their floor pad, determine how many fixtures, what type, how many items you may be able to present. And also when, so what season, what delivery are we talking about? And it'd be great if you're able to look at it in season. If you're going into maybe fall, winter of the following year, if you're able to do that in season so that you have the correct data. But you could also determine that, if you're just 6 months out. So it's really great to just go into store and see what types of products, what fixtures and items are on the floor. And how quickly do we want to turn the product? So here's maybe where I'll start. So I'll start looking at the opportunity. Let's say that the retailer I'm looking into, you want to look at their annual revenue, how many doors they have, where are they predominantly located. And with that, taking that customer profile a step further, really examining maybe what their household income range is, and who is the predominant shopper that is going out into these stores for the family. You can also break down into categories and types of product within those categories. And you can take this percentage up to the total. I don't have percentages here per se, but you can make your pie chart up to percentages. This particular retailer has men's, women's, boys, girls, home on floor. So you can examine it that way and kind of really determine where you're going to find your niche and product. I also look at, let's say that we want to propose an adult line. So we're going to be looking at men's and women's styles and maybe men's and women's footwear. So here I might go into the store and say, okay, I think we could definitely propose a 4-way on the retail floor. And I'm going to propose a men's tee, a fashion top, and 2 men's shorts. I'm looking at what the proposed unit retail may be, how many color choices per style, how many units per color choice, and really kind of go across there. How many doors, what the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 buys may be, so the total items purchased. And what that retail revenue may be, and also considering markdown dollars at the end. So this really kind of gives you an idea of the data behind the type of product that you're going to propose and why the customer would need this product as a customer solution. I also will look at the product floor pad, do a quick kind of sketch drawing of how many mods are on the floor, how much floor space are we talking about. So in this case, we're looking at, there was a lot of hanging apparel along one wall that was adult hanging apparel. Where the shoes are, the shoes may be at end caps, and some mods on the back of that wall. They have baby and adult, and then there's a large socks and underwear section here. So you kind of really get an idea of what the floor looks like. You follow that up with a few photos so that you really have that comparison. And again, I'll make a mod. Let's say we're going to talk about socks and underwear for the department. I'm going to make a mod of that and show how many rows, how many pegs across, so you can really understand what you're proposing and what kind of revenue in dollars this is going to be for you and your brand. So this really gives you an idea of what I would do to set up and get all of that market and retail analysis before I would start the creative. And really the next steps in the creative is finding, okay, what are they missing on the floor? Looking at this photo, what are they missing? Do they want fashion socks? Do they need more fashionable print choices? Things like that. So those are the kinds of questions that you want to ask yourself when you go in to start your creative design work. Thanks so much for joining me.